Happy Friday and welcome back to my channel. This is the Tiff Talks. It's been a long week. I cannot believe it is Friday. I went to the dermatologist yesterday because I have this spot here. You can kind of see it. And it popped up out of nowhere and it really kind of concerned me. And I went to a new dermatologist right by my office, and the team was incredible. Probably one of the best I've ever seen before. I saw the nurse practitioner. I love nurse practitioners. And she told me I think she said it was like actinic keratosis. So she gave me some cream. It's called Closiri, and I just have to put it on every night for 5 nights. And she said it'll like make it look like it's sunburned and then fall off. But it is precancerous. So I am glad. She told me to make sure that I'm being really careful. You know, I mean, y'all know I am obsessed, right, with my sunscreen. I wear it every day religiously. But she told me to just be careful because when you're driving, this side of the face just naturally gets more sun because of those normal driving circumstances. So she told me to just be cautious of that. So I had never even thought about that. But anyway, and I'm exhausted. I'm getting my colonoscopy next week with my husband. It's been 12 years since I've had my colonoscopy. So I'm getting that next Friday, which is also my anniversary. So, right, couples who colonoscopy together stay together. My husband's family has a history of colorectal cancer, so I'm really particular with him, making sure that he gets his done. That's what my father-in-law passed away from, was colorectal cancer. His was from smoking. It was not a genetic thing. My husband did get tested for the genetics for colorectal and it came back negative. However, that doesn't mean that you can't get it. So it just means he's not predisposed to it. And he has issues he was hospitalized a couple of years ago for a week and had to come home with a PICC line and get antibiotics every day for, I think it was 3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that, for diverticulitis. So we have to be really, really careful and diligent and make sure that he's all good. So anyway, okay, I'm a little perturbed. Y'all know that I love my Huda Beauty, but the cap has cracked in all these places. And then I looked at my other one that I have that I don't use as often. This is the Cherry Blossom, and it did the same thing. Why are these cracking? I don't understand. And it's not like they've fallen. I don't think I've ever dropped these. So I don't understand what's going on. But I'm gonna put all of this here. At the dermatologist, I did get a full skin check because it has been quite a while, probably 5 years or so since I've had a skin check. Just because the dermatologist that I used to go to, it is not easy to get into her office. You have to book, I mean, pretty much a year in advance. And I don't always like to do that just because I just don't know what my schedule is going to look like. So I like to go look at my schedule, kind of plan, you know, what's going to be best for me, and then schedule things. So every time we try to schedule with her, it was too difficult. So I went ahead and switched, and it was great because, again, they're right next door to my office. So I didn't even have to take my stuff with me. I just walked over there, got it done, and walked right back to work. So, but we did a full skin check. Everything looked good. She was reminding, so I'll remind all of you, make sure you check everything between your toes, the bottom of your feet. Women, check under your breast, like look everywhere. Men and women, check in your groin folds, everywhere, because cancer can pop up anywhere you have skin. So it's important to make sure that you're checking every single part of your body. because oftentimes it'll pop up in those places, and that's when you won't notice it because you don't think to check those places. So just make sure that you are regularly checking all of those areas. Let me see. Okay. So our power went out again the other day, second time this week. And when it did it surged, I want to say 4 times. And now our air conditioner doesn't work, which means so we have somebody coming out this weekend to take a look at it. And if it fried our air conditioner, this will be the 3rd time since we've lived here that has happened. And I think that it is absolutely insane. So we have already replaced our air conditioner twice before this in the 13 years since we built this house, because the power surges in this neighborhood and the constant power flickering and everything, even when it's not raining. I mean, it can be a gorgeous day outside, nothing going on, and our power goes out. It had been a lot better until after the storm. So the first several years we lived here, it was bad. And our so the first, I want to say, 5 or 6 years. 6 years we lived here. We had to replace our air conditioner twice. So the last time was when Colton was a few weeks old. It surged, and it was a hot summer day. No reason for power to surge, and it went out. Blew the line again. And if you know, air conditioners are not expensive and nobody will cover that. So, and then to get a surge protector for it, they charge you almost as much as the air conditioner itself. So instead of spending $10,000 or $12,000 on your air conditioner, you're spending $20,000 because you get a surge protector. And then they tell you oh, it's supposed to help, but that doesn't mean that it will for sure. This can still happen. So we are hoping and praying that it's an easy fix and not a big deal, because we just cannot afford to replace a 3rd air conditioner. And we also now, because of the storm, have to replace our roof. So lots of expenses coming up. On a good note though, I am part of the Cattle Barons Ball for Houston, which most of you know that if you have been following me. And I am so honored and so excited because I am the co-chair of the advocacy committee for cattle barons through the American Cancer Society. And they are having an advocacy day in Washington, D.C. And you have to get an actual invitation to attend. You can't just say, hey, I'm coming. And they actually extended an invitation to me last night and asked me to join them. And I am so excited. I, number one, love Washington, D.C. As you know, you've probably seen my other videos. I fell in love with DC when I went. Just all of the, I'm not a history person, but just being there and being around places where actual policy is made and talked about. And I love that, especially when it comes to cancer, not just for my family, but also for the people that I serve. That's my entire life is oncology. And I am so blessed to have an opportunity to actually be able to go and advocate at a real level, and not just locally. Locally is good, right? But I am so excited to have the opportunity to do it at a grander space, and being able to talk to the people who really need to hear it, because I know all sides. And especially being a healthcare provider. Now, I don't know how many of them that are going to this advocacy day are healthcare providers, But I think that having the perspective of a healthcare provider that is with these people every day and sees the struggles that they have with having access to the care that they need, the medication that they need, fighting with the insurance companies, which is something that me and my staff do every single day. We fight with the insurance companies for these patients to get the scans they need, to be able to stage them, to see how their chemo's doing, to see how, radiation worked. We have to fight for them to get their chemo medication because, you have an insurance company who is sitting there and saying, oh, well, they don't need it. How do you know that they don't need it? Have you looked at their scans? And how do you go back to somebody and tell them, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to die because your insurance company says that you don't qualify for this medication? No. So we spend our days fighting to make sure that these people have the resources they need to get the care they need and to get better and have life. Cancer is the face of whoever has it, and cancer is the face of the family members who are caring for them, and cancer is the face of the family members who are terrified that their loved one is going to die because of this. Our job as providers is to give them that hope and to give them that strength and that encouragement, and then do what we can on the back end to make sure that they're not having to bear that burden, because their journey is tough enough. And having to go and tell them, our poor patients will call just so upset because, their insurance company won't cover their scans, and they just don't have the fight in them to call and fight with these insurance companies. And we always tell them, do not, if your insurance company ever contacts you, ever sends you anything, please don't stress, just bring it to us. We will take care of it. Like, you are going through enough, your family is going through enough. Let us handle it. Also, you have situations where if there are lymph nodes that are removed from a patient's body, and you have lymph nodes everywhere, but if there are lymph nodes that are removed, there's a potential for you to get lymphedema, which is very painful. It's huge. Like your especially women who have breast cancer, their arms will get huge and it doesn't go away. So you have to prevent it and do the stuff that you can to try and prevent it. It doesn't work for everybody, but even for those referrals to lymphedema specialists and things like that, insurance doesn't want to cover. Why? I don't understand. So, as you can see, I'm very passionate about this. Sorry, it's so hot in here. Usually my house is freezing, but it's warm. But I'm so excited that I get to go and I get to take the perspective of all sides, because again, like, between my husband, my father-in-law, and then now also being, a provider and seeing directly what it is like and how it affects people, I'm so thankful that they asked me to do this. So I cannot wait. I'll have to see once I get there. It's next month, so I'll have to see once I get there if I'm able to film anything, because I would love to share some of those things with y'all and show you, obviously, meetings with like our people we probably cannot film, but some of the other things maybe I'll have access to film. So, but I would love to be able to bring y'all the content and show y'all what it looks like and what some of those efforts entail. I think it's gonna be so fun. And I want my team to be proud of me, and I want my patients and their family members to be proud of me, knowing that I am going and I am gonna advocate for what they need, and I'm gonna advocate for better for them. So I'm so excited. The only part that's going to be a little challenging is it's the day after the Cattle Barons Ball, and the Cattle Barons Ball, we're usually there until like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'll have to get up super early to hit the airport and head out, because the day actually starts on Sunday. So, but it's okay. It'll be worth it. I'm so excited. So I am loving this new blush color. I told y'all I went and got it at Ulta recently. It's called Sunlit. I usually use Sun Warmth, which I still love, but I'm really liking this one right now too. Just gives you that really pretty little glow. I do though like to put a little extra on top. Oh. Dang, it all separated. I went to McDonald's last night on the way home and I got tired of my Coke Zero, so I dumped it out. Okay, I like the plastic better than the styrofoam, but the styrofoam holds the ice a lot longer than the plastic does. So once my drink doesn't have the ice in it anymore, it's been watered down. So I got my water with the pink packets that I use, the pink Starburst packets that are calorie-free, sugar-free, all that. And put that in there because I always have to have water next to my bed at night. Because sometimes I'll just wake up and be dying of thirst. I'm gonna put this here, just a little extra. I'm so happy it's Friday. This week has been productive, very productive, but it's stressful because we have Joint Commission running around and we have construction and we have some delays with some other things and we have all kinds of stuff going on. But I think I told y'all before, Jesus knew what he was doing. He put me in this position for a reason because he knew that I was the one that could handle the challenge. Whew, but boy, it ain't easy. I'll tell you that. So, and my baby turned 5 this week. It's so bittersweet, right? Like you are happy to see your kids have another birthday and grow, but it's hard. It's hard because, I mean, I still feel like he was born yesterday. I mean, I feel like Christian was born yesterday. I still remember Christian was so tiny when he was born, even though he was 5 pounds, but he was 5 pounds, 8 ounces, but he was born with no body fat, Christian. And it's funny too to see him so tall now because I think he's like 5'11". He towers above me, so when I'm trying to get mad at him about something, I'm sitting there looking up at him. But it's funny, my husband and I talk all the time about the fact that it was crazy to see. I mean, he was this teeny tiny baby, and before we could leave the hospital, we didn't have any clothes that fit him, so my mom had to go and get at Walmart some preemie outfits to take him home in, and then he didn't even fit in his car seat. So the nursing team there had to get a whole bunch of those receiving blankets and roll them up and stuff them in the piece that goes, you know, because with car seats, you have the straps here and then it harnesses down to the piece that comes between the legs. And they had to stick, so we had to put him in there and then they had to stick all of these receiving blankets down where the strap that comes between the legs is to hold him in place because he was too little. And so they put receiving blankets there and all around him to protect him when we strapped him in. It was crazy. I'm sure totally illegal, but we had no other way to get him home. Like he was not, I mean, the poor nurses and us, we were trying like, how do we make him fit this? So, I mean, he was so tiny. So, but obviously he made it home. Because now he's a pain in the ass, almost 16-year-old, but but it's just funny because, you know, as parents, and those of you who are parents, you understand, right? Like you look at your kids and you remember when they were born and you can't believe, like, I'm sure my mom feels the same way about me and my brother, even still now that we're adults. And if you're not a parent, you can relate like with your pets, right? Like your fur family. I do not have pets. My husband is highly allergic to cats and dogs, but I'm I'm a cat person. I'm sure that doesn't surprise any of you. I grew up with both, but I'm just inherently a cat person. I always had the smartest freaking cats in the world too, so they thought they were people, probably because we treated them like people. So they would try to do everything that they would see us do, and I'm sure I've shared before, my cat Yogi, he was my last cat. He literally thought he was human. So when he slept in the bed next to me on his back with his paws on top of the, like he had to have the pillow behind his head, and he slept with his paws on top of the covers, had to be right here. He put his paws there, but the little shit would go in the mornings when my alarm would go off, and he would get up, he would stretch, he would get up, he would go over there and turn it off and crawl right back into bed. So sometimes I would wake up and realize I was extremely late because my cat turned off my alarm. And he wanted to be held like a baby. He didn't want to be held like a cat. Like he wanted to be held like you carry a baby on your hip. He was something else. But sometimes I have like baby fever, but obviously my parts are gone, so I can't. I'm too old anyway to have more babies, but I wouldn't want to go through it again, but I sure do like the idea of being able to go and hold babies and play with them. And which is funny because I've already told y'all before, I'm not the nurturing type. And I was talking to my physician partner the other day. We were doing clinic and we ended up talking about all of that. And he was like, I think it's funny because I feel like you would be a nurturer. And I was like, hell no. My husband is the nurturer. My husband is the lover with our children. I always thought, like when we got together, I always thought if we did ever have kids, it would be me being the nurturer and him being the disciplinarian. It's completely opposite. I'm very much the disciplinarian and he's the nurturer and the like he, you know, wants everybody to be happy. And kids know that. Kids know how to play parents big time. So now instead of saying anything, he'll always tell them, you have to go ask your mom. And they're like, damn it. Because they were trying to bypass that one. Oh, goodness. I am thankful though that the weather has been, I know other people are not, but the weather has been kind of gloomy and rainy, and which I like gloomy. Well, I like thunderstorms. I don't like just rain, but it has kept things cooler in here while we try to figure out what's going on with the air conditioner. But we don't have anybody coming till Saturday to look at it. So we have a little window unit right now that we have in the kitchen to try to cool down the house. Oh, I'm losing my train of thought. I need to go wake up my kids so they can get up and start getting ready. All right, so I'm going to try to wake them up. We'll see what happens. This is why I hate when my husband's out of town, because he's the one that manages all of that, and I'm not good with it, because if they don't want to get up, then I'm not going to take them anywhere. They can stay here. But he also doesn't have to be at work as early as I do, because I try to get there by 6, or between 6 and 7. But lately I've been getting there at 6 until this week because I can't get the kids up that early.
I still remember the feeling. I wanna dance till I can't no more. All of the
Perfect. All right, so now I need to do my hair and get dressed, and I will be back. All right, y'all, here's the final. My scrubs are just they're way too big. But I haven't washed anything. Well, yeah, that's okay. I'm not gonna say that. So here we are. This is it for my Friday. I rarely wear this color because this used to be our inpatient color. So, but these are so large, but that's okay. I will survive. So anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful Friday. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.
Let's go, dreaming, dreaming, dreaming on a deal.